My object, which has some significance to me, is this, which is a Marvel graphic novel from 1982. And graphic novels were a new thing at that period because they had more of an adult theme. And the reason why I was into the X-Men and comics, by the early teens, I couldn't really go out due to racism. Myself and my brother, if we went out, you'd be lucky if you didn't get attacked, but inevitably you'd be verbally abused. So I stayed at home. And I got into the hobby of reading comics, and in particular I got into the X-Men. And X-Men, which were anti-heroes, mutants, which weren't humans. And I got into the X-Men in particular because it was a group or a species that were hated and were disliked. There was fear, almost xenophobia about mutants. And the X-Men were created by Stan Lee, one of the founders of Marvel in the early 60s. And many people don't know this, the X-Men is the analogy of the civil rights movement versus the Black Power movement in America in the 60s. Because Professor X is Martin Luther King. And his view was that all human beings and mutants need to live in harmony. Magneto was the analogy of Malcolm X. He said, we are more superior, we should focus on what we are, because we cannot trust the humans, they're oppressed us. And Magneto has an interesting backstory because he is a survivor of the Holocaust. So you've got two views, and at the time I took the view of Magneto, as the view was there was atrocities taking place and you couldn't turn the other cheek. Now, in this particular book, it was quite moving, which I read, I think, the ages 12 or 13. The few panels were two children, which were people of colour. They were also mutants. And something called the Purifiers came, murdered them, lynched them, and then hung them on swings. Horrific, there's blood and so on. And Magneto said this was an execution of our people. So the X-Men meant a lot to me. It reflected society, and I could almost escape into it. And from this, it was this dynamic of mutants and human beings. And in the comics, they refer to human beings as Homo sapiens and mutants as Homo superior. And from this, it gave me a sense of superiority. So, I've been treated and hated. Actually, I've got some special powers potentially. And it gave me a lot of solace. And to this day, sometimes I think I'm part of the X-Men. I'm a superhuman being who's a mutant that the rest of society doesn't like.